Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today's card is going to feature pumpkins. Yes, pumpkins. I know, it's still summer. Don't shoot me. So I have the Pumpkin House die set from Fawn as well as the Woodland Critter Huggers. Now, from several different colors of cardstock, I have cut out the Pumpkin House pumpkin as well as the ears from the Woodland Critter Huggers, and I'm going to combine them. And I did this with a cream color, green, and orange. So to add a little bit more color to each of my pumpkins, for my green, I'm using Black Soot Distress Oxide, and I'm just kind of going around the edges and kind of where the segments of the pumpkin are. I don't know that you really call them segments, you know, where the little indentations are. For my cream pumpkin, I have Antique Linen. I had to go a little bit harder with that one just because it wasn't that different from the cardstock I was using. I could have pulled a different color, but I was afraid it was going to be too dark if I did. And now I have Crackling Campfire for my orange. And yeah, this one is a little bit red, but it was the color that I could find that showed up on my cardstock. I did try before that a couple of the other oranges and they just didn't really show up. So for my card panel, I'm going to use the Scalloped Slimline with Hearts die. This is the, which one was this one? The portrait one? Yeah. It doesn't really matter. I'm using it landscape style because I'm not using the centerpiece. I've cut two of them out and I am going to use my simple grassy hillsides just to create a thin grassy border along the bottom that still has the same scalloped edge. And then I'm going to ink it up with peeled paint. So here I'm just taping off the edges of my panel. I like to keep the edges either white or change the color just so that it actually looks like it has a different border. And I'm going to ink up the clouds using this Clouds for Days Simon Says stamp stencil and some Speckled Egg Distress Oxide. It is a little bit dark in some areas. I'm not really concerned about it because my cat pumpkins are going to take up most of the space anyway. Now this whole card, I was just winging it. I didn't really know exactly what I was going to do. I really just like the idea of giving the pumpkins cat ears. I thought about doing a fox and some other things, but anyway, moving on. I have my small mini slimline stackable dies, and I cut the smallest one out, and then I kind of die cut it again, but making it smaller. I'm explaining this very poorly. It's very early in the morning for me. So I'm struggling just a little bit. But anyway, I just made it smaller than it normally would be. So on one edge, you can actually see where the stitch lines kind of overlap in a way that they shouldn't. But I'm just trying to make this look like a wooden board, kind of like a sign. Now, I could have probably made this look more wood-like if I had looked at an actual wooden plank or something, but I didn't. So moving on, I have Henry Jr.'s ABCs, and I'm going to stamp my word out for this, and it's just going to say pumpkin, which I got it a little crooked, would normally bother me. I decided I didn't care today. Now for my sentiment, I'm using part of the Meow You Doin' stamp set. Basically, anytime that I do a somewhat different mashup or odd mashup, I like to combine parts of the mashup in the sentiment. So for this one, it was cats and pumpkins, so I wanted the sentiment to be something related to both cats and pumpkins. Once my pumpkins are attached, I'm just going to add the faces. I wanted them all to look just a little bit different as far as what their face looked like, so I gave them all different eyes. And I did have to cut one of the eyes off of the green one just a little bit, not completely, just the end, so it didn't overlap the orange pumpkin. I probably should have done that before I attached it, but I didn't. And now, I know you see that the grass is a little wonky over by the green pumpkin, but I didn't care because that would leave more space for you to actually be able to see the word pumpkin on the sign. And then lastly, I decided I would add some whiskers to each of the pumpkins. After that, my card is complete. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. I'll be back with another video soon. Bye!